Hello, it's great to see you this morning for our Good Friday service. And just as we begin, Helen's going to read to us.
The reading is taken from Luke 23, verse 44 to 46. It was now about noon, and darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m, for the sun stopped shining. And the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Jesus called out with a loud voice, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." When he had said this, he breathed his last.
Thanks, Helen. So you're going to need a piece of paper. Hope you've got your piece of paper and pen ready for this. And firstly, you're going to need to get your piece of paper and you're going to need to tear it. Not tear it. You're going to need to crease it down the middle, fold it in half. If you're a child doing this, please do maybe get an adult to help you with that. Crease it a few times so it's got a good crease down the middle. And then just taking your pen, and I want you to write, it doesn't have to be in colour, but I've just done it for this video. Write God on one side and a tick. That stands for God is good. Yes, right, all the time. All the time. God is good all the time. And on the other side, there's me and you. And we're sinners. We sin. We fail. We make mistakes. God is good, but I'm a sinner. And this curtain that was spoken of in the passage that Helen read is the curtain that was in the temple that separated the outer courts from the Holy of Holies. You couldn't just rush in to God's holy presence. Why couldn't I go into God's presence? Because I'm a sinner and God is good. Now, the curtain spoke of that separation that's between us and God. And that curtain couldn't be broken by my own power and strength. And no matter how hard I try to reach God, He's always far from me because of His sin, my sin rather. How can I get through the curtain to God? Well, do you know that there is a curtain around the whole world? And that curtain is gravity. It's some 3,700 miles thick. And that curtain is completely around us. And when I was a child, maybe I'd watched a TV program or a film or something, I can't remember now, but I remember thinking, I want to reach space. So I got as much cardboard as I could, and old plastic junk and sellotape, and I spent the day making a spaceship, and I was really excited to get inside it. But there was no way I was ever going to get to space in my own strength. You know, to get to space, you've got to go at 7 times the speed of sound, or rather, 33 times the speed of sound. That is 7 miles per second. At that speed, one could reach New York in 9 minutes. If you don't reach that speed, gravity will just pull you down again. I can't reach space in my own strength. And there's no way I could bridge that greater gap of my sin to get to God in my own strength. So therefore, Jesus tears the curtain. Helen read earlier, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. That curtain which separates us from the holy place stands for the distance between us and God. Our sin has been torn. And Jesus on the cross tore that curtain from top to bottom. The sin that was on me was taken away, was placed on Jesus. And therefore, me and God can approach one another. You and God can come together through faith, through Jesus. That curtain is torn and we can come together. We've got to understand what was happening on the cross. We read in Matthew 27:46, about 3 p.m, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? Which is quoting a psalm. But what's happening on that moment, represented by the 3 hours of darkness, was that Jesus was taking the wrath, the judgment of the Father upon himself. My sin was placed on Jesus. On the cross, he took my sin upon himself. That's what happens on Good Friday. And because of that, you, me, through faith in Jesus, we can come to God. This was beyond our strength to tear through that curtain. We could not do it. It was Jesus' death that gives us access to the Father. Jesus tears the curtain.